go to the other situation. We were talking about the women earlier. Oftentimes, men can have this controlling issue about themselves. What do you mean? The controlling issue about themselves. Meaning that nobody can do it the way they can. So because they have this mentality, they refuse to hear anybody else's voice. And when they refuse to hear anybody else's voice, guess what happens? Then now they find themselves putting everybody else in harm's way. And the thing is, they want to find themselves doing what they think is best. And then when things don't go quite like it's supposed to go, guess what they do?
Sweep it under the rug.
They hide it. And then when they hide it, they don't realize when it gets found, it's going to create more problems. Instead of you just go ahead and expose, I messed up, I'm going to do better next time. And go ahead. Now you're starting to deal with 4 and 5 arguments at one time over one issue. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because instead of you dealing with the issue, you took it and said. So the thing is, they were operating under another spirit. They were saying, I'm trying to hide my mistake so it won't cause a problem. But the thing is, when they hide the mistake, it caused more problems. Because the preparation that was being made for other things is not going to work out right because they had an expectation of this being done, and that's all messed up now.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Ever help with you? I told you I was going to get all sides. So I'm trying to let that marinate a little bit. We talked about also 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Talked about how when they began to speak in other tongues, he said it was not a bad thing to speak in other tongues. It's actually a good thing. But he says you need to understand the company that you're in when you're speaking. Because the enemy can use that to cause division. How can he use that to cause division? If unbelievers are among believers while they're speaking in an unknown tongue, guess what happens? They don't understand the expression. They can't comprehend what's taking place. So because of this, they think that people crazy. I think that's why the Pentecostal apostolic folks got such a bad rap in days past. They called them the Holy Rollers. You know where that terminology actually came from? It actually came from Azusa Street. They used to have church, and there was so many people until they'd be out on the porch having church. And one day the church, the porch where they were having church broke, fell down. And the people that were on the porch having church started rolling across the yard. And the people, when they drove by, saw them rolling, called them the Holy Rollers. That's where they got their name from. The method, and oftentimes we think people just sat down and came up with these things, but these names came oftentimes from experiences. You know why? Where the Methodist Church got their name from? The thing is, they were always methodical about how they did what they did. The Wellesley brothers, they would ride their horses, and every day at a certain time, they would stop and pray. And the people looked and say, them the Methodist boys. And that's how the name was kind of born into what they were doing. You see where I'm coming from? So when you begin to think about the Pentecostal church, people looked at them and said, that's the experience that they encountered in Acts on the day of Pentecost. So Pentecostal got its idea or identity from the expression that they had that mimicked what took place in Acts chapter 2, speaking in other tongues and, being very spirited, so to speak.